Stephen, as the person responsible for facilities management of all Mirvac's properties in some 120 locations, what do you find is the biggest challenge?
I believe the biggest challenge for the industry at the moment is the rate of change brought about by some new regulations, the focus on sustainability, and that's putting a lot of pressure on our labour resources and the skills of those people.
How do you deal with increasing operational complexity? Is outsourcing the answer?
Well, I'll deal with the first part of that question first. How do we deal with it? At Mirvac, we're focusing on training and upskilling our people, and we do make use of external resources, consultants and the like. However, outsourcing, it's not really the answer for Mirvac. We do have an inside-outside model where we tend to use our own people and external resources. Outsourcing for other organisations, though, that could be the answer.
How serious is the skills shortage in the industry, and what can be done to alleviate it?
It's horrific, the skills shortage in the industry. I don't think it's just the industry, I think it's across Australia. We're reaching full employment across Australia, and we're all sort of swimming in the same pool of resources. It's sort of complicated by, I guess, overseas demands for our resources as well. What can be done to alleviate it? Once again, I guess a longer term solution is training. People are also looking at bringing people in from overseas. Some of the short term solutions I've seen, though, is an increase in wages and trying to retain your people, retention strategy.
How much should the industry rely on new technology to improve efficiency?
The industry does have to rely on technology per se. Whether it has to be new technology, I'm not entirely sure. Some of these things that are sort of touted as new are not necessarily new, they're just regurgitations of the old. Relying on it can be dangerous in that if you're not planning properly for its use, it can go haywire. I guess email's the best example of that. People tend to overuse it. So.
Stephen, is the increasing cost of energy a big headache for facilities managers, and is there much scope for reducing costs further?
It's a big headache for facilities managers, it's a big headache for all of us, and it's going to get bigger. We don't expect electricity pricing to reduce. The size of the headache, I guess, is determined by when you signed up for your electricity contracts, but we've all got the same headache. Is there scope for reducing it further, reducing our energy usage? There is, particularly in the older locations, and I guess the business case for those changes or those improvements in efficiencies is getting easier day by day.
Stephen, many issues will be covered at the Facilities Management Conference 2008 in Sydney. What will your presentation focus on?
My presentation focuses on how, I guess it's a case study of how Mirvac has used technology to close what we see as a labour gap. And I believe, I guess, for other organisations in the same boat, it should be of interest.
We look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you.
For further information on Facilities Management 2008, visit www.iir.com.au/property.